Welcome back, ZenExplains. Have you ever wondered how ancient civilizations managed to do the impossible with simple tools and ingenious minds? From Roman chariots to Polynesian navigators, today we're diving into the fascinating world of forgotten technologies and inventions that shaped the course of history. Technologies so advanced they almost seem too incredible to be real. So sit tight because you're about to discover 10 mind-blowing inventions that were ahead of their time. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Number 9. To measure their roads, the Romans came up with a surprisingly simple yet brilliant invention, a chariot that dropped pebbles as it rolled. It may sound absurd, but this humble device revolutionized the Roman Empire. Here's how it worked. Every time the chariot wheel completed one full rotation, a set of gears would turn. After exactly 400 rotations, a mechanism would drop a pebble into a container. Each pebble represented one Roman mile. At the end of the journey, you simply counted the rocks to know exactly how far you'd traveled. It's essentially a Fitbit for chariots. This seemingly silly device played a pivotal role in creating the vast and efficient road network that defined the Roman Empire. You can't build rest stops without knowing distances. Accurate directions are impossible without measuring miles. Coordinating an empire is unthinkable without standardized measurements. This box of rocks made it all possible. The brilliance lay in its simplicity. No batteries to drain, no satellites to fail, no software to crash, just gears, gravity, and rocks. It worked in all conditions, rain, snow, or sunshine. It worked uphill and downhill. It simply worked. Roman roads were measured with such precision that many of today's European highways still follow the same routes. The distances calculated with pebbles over 2,000 years ago still determine where your rest stops are today. Sometimes the simplest solutions turn out to be the smartest. Number 8. Pacific Islanders once navigated vast stretches of open ocean using nothing but sticks and shells, no compasses, no stars, just simple materials. They transformed beach debris into an incredibly precise form of navigation, effectively creating their own GPS system. These Polynesian stick charts were made using palm ribs to represent ocean swells, shells to mark the locations of islands, and coconut fiber to hold it all together. Curved sticks depicted how waves would bend around islands, while straight sticks indicated currents and wind patterns. To the untrained eye, it might look like abstract art, but in reality, these charts were detailed representations of invisible ocean currents and wave patterns. What's even more remarkable is that these navigators didn't take the charts with them on their voyages. Instead, they memorized the patterns and left the charts behind. Once at sea, they would lie flat in their canoes and feel the movement of the ocean swells beneath them. With this tactile sense, they could detect islands from up to 30 miles away, simply by the way the waves moved under their boats. It was as though they could feel their way across the Pacific. Expert navigators could even sense land by observing how waves reflected off distant shores. While Europeans were still fearful of sailing beyond the horizon, these islanders were crossing the world's largest ocean, using their bodies as their navigation instruments. Each navigator created personal charts that were unique to them, as each individual felt the ocean's rhythms in their own way. It was like having a GPS designed specifically for you. This astonishing technology was so finely tuned that it was used for over 3,000 years, allowing these sailors to conquer the vast Pacific with nothing more than their senses and a few simple materials. Number 7. In Delhi, there's a 23-foot iron pillar that has been standing tall for over 1,600 years. Despite enduring rain, pollution, and bird droppings, this massive 6-ton pillar shows no sign of rust or corrosion, not even the tiniest orange spot. By all logic, iron should have long turned to rust, yet it remains pristine. So what's the secret behind this remarkable preservation? The ancient craftsmen used iron with a high phosphorus content, what modern metalworkers would consider garbage iron. But rather than deteriorating, this so-called garbage iron, when exposed to Delhi's harsh climate, formed a protective layer of crystalline iron hydrogen phosphate. Scientists have given this layer a name, Misawite, because everything seems to need a fancy title. The layer is incredibly thin, about 1/120th of a millimeter, thinner than a human hair, but it's tougher than any modern rust protection. It's almost as if the pillar grew its own natural force field. The ancient Indians didn't set out to solve a corrosion problem, they were just working with the materials available to them. In doing so, they stumbled upon a solution to an issue that still challenges us today. Every time it rains in Delhi, the pillar silently proves that ancient technology may have been ahead of its time. We often assume we're more advanced because we have smartphones, but can your smartphone last 1,600 years? The pillar will still be standing long after our civilization has faded into dust. Number 6. In Iraq, archaeologists uncovered a crystal artifact from 3,000 years ago that outperforms modern reading glasses. The Nimrud lens, essentially a magnifying glass from a time when most humans were still experimenting with bronze, can magnify objects 3 times their size with remarkable clarity. It seems almost impossible. Creating a perfect lens requires advanced tools and an understanding of optics. But the Assyrians who crafted this were expected to be using crude tools, not making precision optical instruments. It's akin to finding a smartphone buried in an ancient pyramid. Scientists are divided on its purpose. Some think it might have been used by craftsmen to help them carve intricate inscriptions on palace walls, while others suggest it could have been used to start fires, making it the world's first lighter. But here's where things get really intriguing. The Assyrians described Saturn as having a triple form and being surrounded by serpents. Today, we know Saturn's rings can appear as three distinct objects through a small telescope. The serpents they described? That's exactly what Saturn's rings look like through basic optical lenses. So either the Assyrians were incredibly lucky in their guesses, or they were observing Saturn through lenses like the Nimrud lens. The British Museum speculates it could have been an accident. Perhaps someone was polishing a crystal and stumbled upon the art of magnification by mistake. But that's a stretch. It's more likely that the Assyrians were using sophisticated optical knowledge 3,000 years ago, at a time when most people believed the sun was a god riding a chariot. So the next time you slip on your glasses, remember, an ancient Assyrian might have figured out the same technology while the rest of the world was busy sacrificing goats to bring rain. Number 5, imagine walking into an ancient temple in Alexandria, where you're met with the sight of a metal sphere spinning furiously above a fire. Steam bursts from twisted pipes, and the ball spins faster and faster, seemingly alive. But this isn't magic. It's the first ever steam engine, and humanity entirely missed its potential. This was yet another of Hero of Alexandria's ingenious inventions, created 2,000 years ago. Here's how it worked. Water boils inside a sealed pot, creating steam that rushes up through pipes into a hollow metal sphere. Attached to the sphere are two bent tubes, pointed in opposite directions. The steam shoots out of these tubes, causing the sphere to spin wildly, essentially the first example of jet propulsion, centuries before anyone even figured out plumbing. But here's the tragic part. Instead of revolutionizing technology, it was used as a party trick. The ancient Egyptians and Greeks saw it as nothing more than a temple toy designed to impress worshippers. Imagine inventing the internet, only to use it for solitaire games. This spinning ball had the potential to change the world. It could have powered Roman chariots, Egyptian factories, or even Greek railroads. Why didn't they see it? The answer is simple. With thousands of slaves doing the labor, why would they bother with machines? The greatest invention of the ancient world was reduced to a religious gimmick, all because of human laziness and short-sightedness. After Hero's death, his steam engine was forgotten, and humanity didn't rediscover steam power until 1,700 years later. If only someone had thought to expand on Hero's design, we could have been colonizing Mars by now. But instead, we had to wait for the 1700s for someone to rediscover what Hero had already figured out, likely while sipping wine and pondering the mysteries of the universe. Number 4. In 1999, a group of German treasure hunters stumbled upon what they believed to be just another discarded artifact. Little did they know, they had uncovered a 3,600-year-old celestial calculator, a tool for tracking the stars. The Nebra sky disk is essentially a Bronze Age GPS system, and its precision is astonishing. This bronze disk, roughly the size of a pizza, is adorned with gold elements depicting the sun, the moon, and various star clusters. But these aren't just decorative patterns, they are meticulously designed to mark celestial events with remarkable accuracy. The two golden arcs on the edges of the disk indicate the exact points where the sun rises and sets during the summer and winter solstices. The level of precision is an incredible 82 degrees. These ancient astronomers, with nothing more than rudimentary tools, managed to capture complex astronomical data without the use of calculators, computers, or even a proper numerical system. The disk's immense value became so well known that criminals attempted to sell it on the black market, forcing law enforcement to launch an undercover operation to retrieve it. The people of the Bronze Age, who lived with stone tools and simple fires, created a device that could predict eclipses, track the seasons, and navigate by the stars. They encoded this sophisticated knowledge into a metal disc, giving farmers a tool to determine the optimal times for planting crops. Imagine finding out that ancient peoples had something akin to spreadsheets for farming. The 7 gold dots on the disc represent the Pleiades star cluster. When these stars disappeared in March, it signaled the time for planting. When they reappeared in October, it was harvest time. This remarkable artifact transformed the night sky into a vast agricultural calendar. And here we thought we were clever for inventing digital watches. Number 3. Maya Blue, a paint that has withstood over 1,000 years of acid rain, storms, and jungle decay, still retains its vibrant color. Meanwhile, the paint on your car begins to peel after just 5 years. So what was the secret behind this nearly indestructible pigment? The formula is deceptively simple. Mix indigo dye with a rare clay called palagorskite. But there's a catch. This mixture needs to be heated to exactly 300 Zer. A single degree off, and you're left with nothing but an expensive, unusable mess. The ancient Maya mastered this precise temperature control, despite lacking modern thermometers. They managed to create what scientists now describe as a nanocomposite, a material engineered at a molecular level. In essence, the Maya were practicing molecular engineering long before anyone had a concept of molecules. The paint's structure forms microscopic channels that trap the dye molecules almost as if each particle constructs a protective barrier around itself. UV rays can't penetrate it, acids can't break it down, and time has little effect on it. Modern chemists who study this structure are in awe, marveling at how it's far too sophisticated to have been a mere accident. Interestingly, Maya blue wasn't just for artistic purposes, it was also used in ritualistic human sacrifices. Victims would be painted with Maya blue before being offered to Chak, the rain god, in a sacred ceremony. Number 2. Imagine you're in ancient Rome and you've just broken your leg. You're hauled into a doctor's office preparing for the worst, a rough, untrained physician wielding a rusted blade. But instead of a scene of horror, you're struck by an unexpected sight. The tools laid out on the table before you look strikingly familiar, almost like stepping into a modern surgical suite. It's as if you've somehow time-traveled 2,000 years into the future. Roman surgeons were equipped with instruments that mirror those used in today's hospitals. They had scalpels with detachable silver blades, precise and sharp. While they didn't understand germs or the science behind hygiene, they stumbled upon an incredible discovery. Silver has natural antibacterial properties, a fortunate accident that likely saved many lives. Their forceps were fine-tuned enough to grasp a single hair without damaging it, a testament to their attention to detail. They even had bone drills that modern orthopedic surgeons would recognize immediately. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius and the destruction of Pompeii had an unusual benefit. It preserved an entire Roman surgical kit, untouched by time. When modern doctors examined these ancient tools, they were stunned by a revelation. They could perform surgeries with many of these instruments today, just as they were, without needing to change a single thing. Number 1. Imagine standing in front of a grand temple in ancient Memphis. The scene is set. You're gazing up at the towering stone walls, feeling the weight of history in the air. A priest steps forward and gently ignites a small flame on the altar. Suddenly, with no one in sight, the massive stone doors open by themselves. There's no one to be seen pulling levers or using any tools. Yet the doors seem to move of their own accord, almost as if by magic. But in reality, it was the ingenious work of a man named Theon of Memphis, who lived 2 millennia ago and had the brilliance to rival the minds of today's tech pioneers. So what was his secret? Beneath that very altar, hidden from view, was a concealed chamber filled with air. When the flame ignited, it rapidly heated the air in the chamber. As the air warmed, it expanded, exerting pressure on a water reservoir placed underneath. This pressure pushed the water through an intricate network of pipes into another container. As this second container filled, its increasing weight pulled on ropes that were connected to the temple doors. And just like that, the doors opened as though by some divine intervention. When the fire eventually went out, the entire process reversed. The cool air caused the water to contract, and the counterweights took over, causing the doors to swing shut once more. To the onlookers, this was nothing short of divine magic. They knelt in awe, convinced that the gods themselves had orchestrated the opening of the temple doors. Meanwhile, Theon, perhaps hiding a smile behind his robes, watched as his centuries-old invention worked wonders, having essentially created the world's first automatic doors, well before they were ever thought of in the modern world. Wow, what an incredible journey through time. Who would have thought ancient minds could be so ahead of their time, right? From roadways built with pebbles to the world's first automatic doors, these amazing inventions remind us that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most brilliant. If you enjoyed this trip through history, be sure to leave a comment telling us which invention blew your mind the most. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on our next deep dive into the wonders of the past. Until next time, keep questioning the world around you.